Hey guys, welcome to Michelle's Opinions. Today I have the honor of interviewing Amber. Oh my God. Amber from Amber's Place. And you guys can't hear that. Amber, please tell a little bit about your channel and a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name for this evening is Amber. I'm in my Amber identity. I have a small channel recently started called Amber's Place, and that's the channel that I intend to do my esoteric skill set on that channel. So I have my other channel, Mel's Table Talks, is very more about discussions and more scientific, a more grounded channel, whereas Amber's Place is about my esoteric work. And
sorry, I was trying to pull it up on my home screen so I can actually read the chat when it's coming up. And when did you wake up and have the gifts stirred up within you? Can you tell us a little bit about Amber's journey that you've gone through and what skills and gifts have been stirred up into your remembrance, and a little bit about yourself?
Okay, it's funny because people say on this journey that you become like a child again. And for me, in many respects, that's very true. It's like I've returned back to my interests and skill sets that I experienced a lot as a child. So as a child, I didn't really realize it then fully, but looking back now, I realized that I experienced quite a deep connection to, for want of a better word, spirit. As a child, I had some quite a few metaphysical kind of experiences as a child, such as out-of-body experiences, astral travel, some what I would now call manifestations, some precognition, some knowings without any way normally of knowing information about people, seeing spirits, communicating with spirits. So all of this happened through my childhood up to about the age of probably from about 16. Definitely by the time I was 18, that had all, I'd either decided to go away from that and concentrate on my studies, and some of those gifts seemed to disappear. For example, one of those that disappeared was my ability to do spiritual writing, which I did a lot as a child. And I remember doing them when I was 16 because I was spiritually communicating with spirits in my exams, because I was to finish my exams early and we weren't allowed to leave, so I was to sit there and do spiritual writing. But by the time I did my exams when I was 18, I couldn't do it anymore. What happened was, when I tried to do that, the pen would just do parallel lines. And I remember saying to my mum about it, because she used to do spiritual writing, as did her mother. And she said, oh, yes, that just happens sometimes, and one day it might return. And I've tested it through the years and it never returned. But since I began my recent awakening experience, which was the end of 2016, a lot of these gifts and more have returned and are stronger. And for example, spiritual writing is one. But one of the other things I dabbled a little bit in as a teenager was, I remember I bought a pack of tarot cards. And I remember just doing some readings for family and friends and being amazed at how accurate they were. And I don't remember why, but I don't even know what happened to that deck. I simply stopped doing it. I never really progressed it. But recently I got an interest again in doing so. And I was getting a lot of messages, if you like, intuitive feelings that this was something I needed to do. So when I came across a pack that I resonated strongly with, I bought it, and I've not looked back. From right from the start, it's been very accurate, and so I've redeveloped my former interest in this area, and I am learning and progressing that along now. And in addition to that, a new skill which I never realized I had and never would have thought in a million years I possessed was an ability to lead guided meditations or hypnosis sessions. And that was discovered purely by accident several months ago. And so I regularly group guided meditations on our Discord chat server. And
that's something you'll be doing on your channel, Amber's Journey or Amber's Place.
Yes. Yeah, I've been working out the best way of doing that. That's not going to take a lot of time for me in order to process sound files, etc. So you and I have both been learning this technology, and I think I now got it down pat where I can start broadcasting my meditations live on my channel, the ones that we do in Discord, so that people can enjoy them either at the time or later. But it's definitely something I want more training in, so I'm very interested in learning beyond quantum healing. And
QHHT, you just went to a seminar, actually. You want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yes, I went to see a lecture and a workshop by Candace Goldman. Candace Goldman was trained by Dolores Cannon, and after Dolores Cannon died, there was a bit of a disagreement between the family of Dolores Cannon and Candace in how they should carry on Dolores's work and her vision. So that resulted in Candace and splitting off from Dolores Cannon's QHHT and renaming her version Beyond Quantum Healing. And so I went up to see her lecture on synchronistic time, and then a full-day workshop on CQT, and underwent 2 very short hypnosis sessions guided by Candace, and just to learn more about it. So, and I'm very interested in training with quantum healing now, simply because it seems to be I do have some talent in that area. So
natural abilities coming through you in that regard. Yeah. Same with meditation and hypnosis. Also, I just had a good question for you. I wanted to ask you, as you are going through this journey yourself and becoming self-aware and understanding your sixth sense abilities and beginning to apply them into your life, Dolores Cannon had a very interesting view about first wave, second wave, third wave. Well, I've heard you give a different perception on that, which was very, very interesting and a different perspective on looking at things. I'm hoping that you can remember what I'm talking about, where you talked about like soul families and certain groups being linked to a higher self, and then from that higher self being linked up, in that kind of respect. Do you want to elaborate a little more on that? It was a very fascinating perspective.
Okay. Well, what I think is going on with the awakening is that, so each one of us, to start at our level, each one of us is made up of our physical body and our spiritual body. And our spiritual body has many layers, and which forms what you might call your soul. And your soul, each one of our souls, is connected to a wider group of souls called your soul family. Your soul family is connected to many other soul families and that, I think that's called your soul group. Your soul group is connected to other soul groups, and I think that is called the oversoul. The labels vary depending on people's understanding. Then the oversouls will be connected to other oversouls, and that will be called something else. And it goes up in a pyramidal fashion. So another more scientific term for this is called a morphogenic field. So your soul family is one morphogenic field. Your soul group is another morphogenic field. So your soul family is a morphogenic field within the larger morphogenic field, and it goes up again exactly the same in a pyramidal fashion. And the way what has come to me, and this is what I would call downloaded information, is that in the time that humans have existed, our humanity's morphogenic field has progressed and grown up into the upper frequency ranges of the energy layers, what some people might call different dimensions. You know, where people talk about 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D. So what I think has happened is the humanity's morphogenic field, or one of the morphogenic fields within the wider human morphogenic field, has broken through a barrier into probably something like 7D, 8D, that dimension. And because they have reached that point in terms of their energy and their awareness and their connectedness to source, they are then able to trigger a global awakening of humanity, increasing our own energies and frequencies and raising our individual frequencies up into the higher frequency ranges. Now, as you go up in the higher frequency ranges, you gain more abilities because your connection to the rest of your morphogenic fields is so much deeper. And I think that the reason this awakening is occurring in waves and in cohorts of new awakened on a seemingly irregular basis is because your frequency and the access of consciousnesses higher up in your morphogenic field to yours will be increased depending on the level, how to describe this, on your genetic connection to that specific lineage. So I think that the cohorts of awakened people all share the same level of genetic connection to specific lineages in humanity. Each lineage would represent a different morphogenic field. And I think certain lineages are waking up before others because the morphogenic field of that lineage has absorbed more energy for a variety of reasons and has reached a higher level of frequency quicker than others. But it doesn't really matter. It's not an elitist thing because say, for example, you have awakened, but you know people who haven't awakened. The very fact that your frequency is raised means that you are transmitting out that frequency at this level to all of the other humans that you know. So you are helping to raise their frequency, which is helping to raise the overall frequency of their morphogenic fields. So I
want to tell you, your fish are really responding to the energy emittance that you are radiating out now. I don't know if you guys that are watching, watch the fish in the fish tank as she's speaking. They're just going crazy back there. And doesn't this also tie back to going back, you know, I often talk about the quantum entanglement and how it all leads back to one. And as certain people are waking up, they send it back into that quantum entanglement to the one consciousness, which could then trickle out and affect other people to wake up and raise up. And the universe speaks to each of us in our own language where we will understand it. And unity and diversity is just such a beautiful thing to see different people speaking out about what they are hearing, what language they're able to interpret. And Amber here has also tuned into, you know, many gifts. You know, we already touched on the QHHT, which is an interest of hers, group meditation, guided meditation. Also, she's got other gifts that have stirred up, along with self-awareness, testing things going on, which we're told to test all things. And as you get as we are all realizing that we have the sixth sense that has been with us at all times, that as that is awakening, then we're now learning to apply it into our everyday life, and it's life changing. Please go on, Amber.
Okay. Yeah. So I think what we're doing is we are creating our own realities now, and I think that humanity is existing on different energetic frequencies, over a range of energetic frequencies, and your reality will differ depending on what frequency you happen to be in at any one time, and you will fluctuate. But we do seem now to have a greater ability to control which frequency we're on and to create our own reality. So it's not the fact that you can, what you want will be, because we coexist in these realities. But we seem to be developing greater ability to manifest, and by manifesting, create our own realities. And for example, the chemtrails is a good example. We've both done tests on that, and although it's only observational, but we have determined that it certainly appears that we are able to alter whether we are heavily chemtrailed or not. And I'm not saying that those who are still experiencing chemtrails are incorrect in what they are, or are not as good as anybody else. It's simply that they are existing in a frequency where their co-created reality has these chemtrails. If they are able to move up into, or not necessarily up, I don't want to say up, but move to a different frequency where the co-creative humans in that frequency do not experience the chemtrails as much, and they can move away from them in terms of frequency. And I've definitely experienced that, you know, because I was experiencing a lot of chemtrails. And as I have worked on myself and my frequency, then I've experienced a gradual reduction in the numbers of chemtrails. And we've both seen, haven't we, Michelle, that your how you feel, your frequency, your emotional state does affect what you're seeing in the sky in terms of chemtrails and weather as well.
Yes. Yes. And you guys, the images that, you know, I was just playing behind you, I took a 20-second clip of the skies above me. This is a still shot that I took of the image of my skies that I'm seeing. And I have to say, guys, I used to see the checkerboards. I did. They're gone now. And I often tell you guys what's going on in the micro is going on in the macro. So basically you said from 2015, you've had a major stirring going on within you, and it's coming into light as the gifts are being stirred up, as you call them downloads, and now you're applying them into your life. Is there any of them that you want to share with us today?
What gifts you mean? Or
yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do a tarot reading for you if you want.
Oh my goodness, I would be honored. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, no harsh judgments on whatever she does.
Would you like me to do that now?
Yes, thank you. What an honor. Another thing that she does over on Amber's Place is she does horoscope readings and readings using her cards. And, you know, if you, and I tell people, you know, whatever way, I was just watching Unbiased and on the Fence, and the gentleman that he was interviewing uses Pandora, which is, it's called Sam, and he asks a question and it's shuffle and the song answers his question. You know, whatever your reconnection is, whatever language is more clear and helps you to understand, my goodness, go on, do it. Because, you know, as I've often said, we start out in the beginning and it's like we're babies, you know, the only thing we could do is cry. And then we're able to say a few words. Then we're able to say full sentences, and we're able to communicate and be completely reconnected. So it's a beautiful transition that people are going through, and I am honored to be introducing her channel, Amber's Place, and the wonderful things that she does on that channel.
Thank you. Yeah, so I do intend to do monthly like horoscope tarot readings. Now I've got my technology a bit better, and so this week I'll be doing some for June on there.
And the good thing about her doing those guided meditations and recording them for us is that anytime, you guys, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, you can click on it and let it play, and you can go into meditation right there and with a guide. Okay, so you know, she's right there guiding you through it, and you can put yourself into that meditative state, ground yourself back out. I do notice that when we were in Shane's stream, a lot of us, and including myself, sometimes we feel like we're lifting off the ground, and then we have things, tools, or you know, what some would call you know, a vice that grounds us back out to make sure that we know we're still here, we're still alive, and this is really happening with us. And it warms my heart to see so many people getting freed from these bondages that, you know, the chains are falling off of people, and we're taking our positions as whole beings. We're no longer hewed down. We're stepping up into our positions of who and what we are. It's beautiful. Ready to go whenever you are, sweetie.
I'm waiting for the cards to come out for you.
Oh my, she likes to watch them jump from the deck. Uh-oh. She's giggling too. Remember, she had her fish just going crazy. There's no telling where this is going to go. Do I look scared? Any new people that have popped over here that came from Unbiased and on the Fence? Welcome. I'm glad you came. I hope that you enjoy what you're seeing and that you stick around. I do little videos also, but I really have to say I am really enjoying interviewing people from all walks of life, different cultures, religions, backgrounds, countries, seeing that, you know, those boundaries or borders are being kicked down, and we're coming into this beautiful oneness. It's amazing to observe. It's amazing to participate in. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Okay, so these are the cards that have come out for you. The first one, the Oracle card, is Surrender to the Flow. So a more fuller reading of that one. Through choice and action, you can steer the course of your life. But sometimes the need to control every outcome can have you caught up in a whirlpool instead of moving forward. You may move in the direction of your choosing, but it may not be the direction in which you need to journey. Loosen your grip, surrender yourself to the flow, and trust that you will find yourself exactly where you need to be. So that's your Oracle card. Your first tarot card is an air card, and it's, just show it to you. It was upside down, but it's the 6 of air. And I basically asked for whatever you needed to know, whatever your higher self thought you needed to know at this time. So, 22. The Six of Air reverse symbolizes a bad habit of making comparisons in a divisive manner that separates and creates an us versus them situation. When the Six of Air appears reversed, it is cautioning you to be more embracing of others' differences and warns not to fall into the trap of judging others because they think or believe in a different way to you. It comes to remind you that we are all different, and that the one thing that we all have in common is just that we are all different. Every single person has beliefs totally unique to themselves, shaped by their own experience and knowledge. Don't be too quick to discredit what another has to offer just because their perspective and perception is different to your own. So this is something that I think everybody, it's about being self-aware. It doesn't mean you do this, but it's a reminder that a situation might be upcoming that might be tempting for you to do this. But I think you're very self-aware enough not to do that anyway. But it's a gentle reminder. The second one is the Ace of Water. This can symbolize a moment or situation that has us feeling overwhelmed, denying or fighting our true feelings. We may love, but we are afraid to admit that we love. We may yearn for connection, but deny our need and do what we can to prevent bonds with others from forming. Fear of being hurt and disappointed, of discovering that the one we love is not who we thought them to be. Simply having unrealistic expectations can end many new relationships before they even begin. The Ace of Water signifies the need to let down the barriers you may have built around your heart and allow a loving experience or opportunity to unfold free of fear's influence. It asks that you allow a relationship to begin and be explored, whether that relationship be with a person or an interest, before you determine whether it is right or wrong for you. So that's quite exciting. There may be a new opportunity coming up. And if there is, it's advising you, you may have some nervousness or anxiousness or a built up fear response about fully participating in that new opportunity. So it's advising you that you may want to explore it before you make a judgment. And the last card is the Journey card. Okay, so this is all about our respective journeys, and it's about the lessons we learn from our journeys. It's about breaking patterns of behavior and repeating cycles by seeing the truth of our past actions and understanding that if something did not work for us on several occasions in our past, then maybe here in the present, a different path should be taken. It's about learning from the mistakes of our past and actioning that learning in the present. When this card appears, it asks you to be honest with yourself. Be willing to see the truths people often seek to deny. We may not always have a choice in what we experience and when we experience it, but we do have a choice in how we respond and react once the moment has passed. In the present, you are completely free to choose how you react and what lessons and truths you take away from your life journey. So ask yourself if you have allowed your past to do more than shape you. Have you allowed your journey to define who you are in the present? Do you allow the past to exert undue influence over your choices in the here and now? Learn from your past mistakes, but don't allow those lessons to teach you to be more afraid, overly cautious, judgmental, or cynical. Our truths, the wisdom or knowledge we gain from each and every experience, is not meant to cage us. It is meant to set us free. So allow yourself to be free to live, love, and laugh fearlessly. See potential, opportunity, and possibilities as you set your feet on a path to a new destination, instead of returning to the old ones. Give yourself permission to enjoy the moments you are experiencing in the now, fully and completely. So I think that's quite exciting for you. I think you've got new opportunities coming up, but there may be some residual anxiety or fear you may need to overcome in order to be able to embrace them fully.
And as everybody knows, not all of that resonated, but I am stepping out and speaking and developing this channel, which is not in my comfort zone. I'm an observer. I'm a behind the scenes type person. So, and when the radio show yesterday, I was so nervous. I thought I was on the listening number until my phone said unmuted, and bam, I was live on the radio. But I have to say that with Shane and the twin flame host and hostess, their loving energy put me at peace, that I could speak clearly, and my mind went completely blank into panic mode. So I can see where that resonates as I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and doing this now. And I have to admit the last part did resonate, because I find myself hindering myself and worrying too much about. But now I'm coming to the conclusion myself that I'm just going to put it out there, and it'll resonate with who it resonates with. And I am trying to show everybody unity and diversity, because I find that that is so beautiful. So, and remember, guys, when we're getting readings and stuff, it doesn't have time on it. So, like when you're getting information, and I've noticed this too with like prophetic dreams and stuff, that you could be seeing something from the past, something that's going to happen a week from now, or something that's going to happen in a few years. There's no time there. So it could be a past, present, and future thing all laid out all at the same time, because the concept of time is not there. So very well done. Thank you very much, Amber. I really much gratitude. Thank you. Are you interested in pulling one for the room? You guys, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
You want her to pull a card for the room? Let's see what they have to say about that. While you shuffle and see if anything pops out, we'll see if everybody's okay with. I'm sure they will be. We're all pretty open-minded here.
Okay, the card that was pulled is that one. And that one is the Nine of Fire. Okay, the meaning. Does it seem you are making your life more difficult by overcomplicating something? Do you find you take 10 steps to perform a task when you know you could complete the same task in 5? Or do you seem suddenly to have a list of conditions and requirements that only serve to limit and restrict? There is a good rule to follow in all areas of life. Keep it simple. The reverse Nine of Fire is a gentle reminder not to bury yourself under the weight of the unnecessary. Take physical action to simplify your life and how you do things. Otherwise, you will make your life harder and slow yourself down. Remove the clutter and create an easy flow that is free of self-imposed obstructions. Lighten your workload by following a process that is elegant in design and uncomplicated in nature, because it only requires that you do what you need to do and nothing that you do not. By doing so, you can give all of your focus and energy to what is truly important and nothing more. Would anyone in the chat like me to pull a card just for them for the next week?
Let's switch topics a little bit, Amber. Let's talk a little bit about the energy waves and, you know, the inner battles that we go through, because, you know, I know for myself, the religious dogma was a huge one that I had to overcome. And a lot of times it feels like an inner battle, and it is an inner battle while we get our house in order, and then we can, you know, broaden out and see the beauty in everything and everybody. But some people, you know, from reading through the chat stream, are actually having some hard times with dealing with the energy fluctuations, the energy waves that are coming in on them. And that actually can tie back to what we were talking about with the morphogenic fields. Maybe we can explain and expand a little bit more on that. So that way, maybe bring some peace to people's hearts that it's going to be okay. Would that be all right with you, Amber?
Of course. Yes, of course. I think, okay, so there are multiple things that are affecting our energy. Regardless of what lineage you are a part of, or a morphogenic field in terms of humanity, you're still a member of Gaia's morphogenic field. Overall, humanity itself is a component, a subset of Gaia's energy, the energy of the entire planet and everything that lives upon it. And because our energy is increasing, that is a feedback to Gaia. So her energy is increasing, and therefore all the energies of everything that lives on Gaia is increasing. And you're a part of that. And this is because we are co-creating, and everyone's energies is constantly fluctuating because of your emotional state and a variety of factors. There is Gaia's energy is going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. And you're going to feel that. You're going to be affected by that. You're also going to be affected by the energy of those you are connected to. So this could be your family. It could be your pets. It could be your neighbor. It could be your work colleagues. It could be somebody on the other side of the world who is a part of your lineage morphogenic field. You are going to be affected by the energies, all of the energies that you are connected to, and as well as the energies of the moon, of the sun, of the planets, because Gaia's morphogenic field is part of the solar system morphogenic field. So my advice on that is simply to meditate. When you meditate, you connect yourself back to Gaia's energy frequency, and you also enhance your connection to the higher energies within your morphogenic field. So what that does is it not only enables a greater amount of guidance and stabilization via the upper frequencies of your morphogenic field, but it also helps to ground you to Gaia's energy frequency and forms a kind of buffer between you and all of the other energies that are coming at you at this level from your family, your friends, your co-workers. What it can also do is it can, every time you think about somebody, every time in any way you form, if there wasn't one there already, an energetic connection to that person. Now we have energetic connections to a variety of people, mostly our loved ones. But some of those connections can be negative in terms of our frequency, because we are constantly exchanging energy and influencing each other's energy fields. when you meditate, when you surround yourself with white light, what you can do is with your thoughts, your intent, sever any of those energy connections that are going to be a drain on your frequency, are going to be constantly dragging your frequency down, and only maintain those connections that are going to be stabilizing your current frequency or bringing them up. And that will enable you to have a greater amount of control over your own frequency and how you feel. That would be my advice in terms of energy, how to help stabilize your own energy. And of course, you know, eating the right foods is critical as well. So being more careful about what you eat, avoiding highly processed foods, avoiding, if you can, meat. So start reducing your meat, start reducing your sugar, start avoiding as much as you can heavily processed foods. Start going back to a more living diet, eating raw vegetables and fruit. Because science has shown that raw vegetables and fruit have more energy within them that we absorb. And that energy not only provides us with the basic matter that we need to maintain our bodies, but it provides us with the energy to help feed our spiritual self. And so start eating more living foods.
And I changed my background because as she was talking about the morphogenic fields and how we are quantumly entangled, just imagine that this is you and all the hoops around you are the people that are around you, that what you do in life, it affects those people. Also, each of those hoops have this very flower around them. So what they do affects the other people around them. And it goes with the, you know, the 100th monkey experiment, where after the 100th one learned to wash the potato and then eat it, then, you know, the same kind of, you know, analogy goes. We are, if certain people are waking up, they're sending it into the quantum, the whole conscious, and then it comes out, and then we start to rise up. A lot of people will feel those waves, those ascension waves, as you're gently being brought up into the awareness of applying that sixth sense, applying that divine, you know, breath of life that animates each and every one of us, and then making conscious decisions using all six of your senses instead of thinking we're affected by the world around us. Realize that your sixth sense is a huge role and actually enhances your five senses. And that's why we're seeing this huge uproar, you know, of these gifts coming into fruition for people. We're told to test all things. Yes, test out your abilities that you have. Tune into those very gifts that are stirred up within you. If you're feeling waves coming over you, you're gently being pulled up into the awareness, into your senses becoming heightened and more aware. It can seem rough at times. I'm not going to, you know, I don't try to sugarcoat this journey, because a lot of us that have, you know, old doctrines and things, it is a renewing of our mind and a new heart that we get. And then you become conscious that you are this flower of life and all those other people are affected by you. And you make better decisions on what you do and how it will, you want to lift people up. And it's a beautiful thing. Although we're feeling these, and it feels like waves, sometimes, you know, I feel like I'm walking sideways. It's like, you know, that deja vu feeling you could have. Is it the same cat? You know, that means there was a change in the matrix. So we're seeing like the Mandela effect. We're hearing, you know, ringing in our ears, which would be a heightened hearing, heightened awareness, seeing things through our eyes, seeing these changes, heightened sense of smell. I had somebody that I interviewed that is able to smell illness on other people and discern that, and to be able to, you know, apply their sixth sense gift into, you know, helping that person. I have to say, I have not met anybody really that has went through this journey that has selfish desires, if anything, we want everybody to know how wonderful and beautiful and all these things that are within each and every one of us. So that way, you know, we can create a better place once we understand how to apply all 6 of our senses instead of just the 5 that we thought that we've had all along. I'm sorry, go ahead, Amber. I just wanted them to see the flower of life and the entanglement, and you know, kind of give an image behind what you're trying to explain.
Yeah, I think that's a really apt image because you can look at it in so many ways. But I mean, if you look at each of those circles as one morphogenic field, and then the petals of the flowers within the circles as smaller morphogenic fields, and because reality is fractal in nature, that pattern is repeating at every level as you go down smaller as well as you go up larger. So we are all quantumly affected and connected. Sorry, and this is what this word quantum is really does describe what we're going through. We are literally changing the past, and maybe we always have. We just weren't aware of it. But what is definitely different now is we are becoming aware that we are changing the past to fit whatever reality we are creating today, and we are also therefore affecting the future. So, and there, it is known in science that it takes 1% of a population, just 1%, to be people consciously giving out positive thoughts and energy to that population in order for that to have a profound positive effect on the emotions of the entire population. Just 1%. So that's 1 in every 100 people in a city. So if one person out of every 100 in a city are the type of people like us who are consciously giving out positive thoughts and love and energy in whatever way that is, whether that's prayer, whether it's meditation, whether it's doing singing bowls, whether it's doing you know, some sort of pagan you know, rituals, it doesn't matter. As long as it's positive energy, then that has been shown to have a profound positive effect on the entire population. So a lot of this, there is scientific, and there's scientific experiments which is backing all of this up. And I was very surprised to learn this. So this is real. It is happening. We can affect our reality, and we are doing that. So try to be one of the 1% and not one of the 99%.
Yes, and that ties back to the broad way and the narrow path. And I talk about the narrow path, and the narrow path is so narrow because you're the only one on it. It's your divine journey. Whatever filters are built up within you, you know, they get shed away, and this new awareness comes up in us, and it's such a beautiful thing. The group, as we are going through this transition, and it is unique for each and every single one of us, but the destination of learning that these abilities are within us, they always have been, and learning to apply them in a loving manner is where we are going. That's where we will start. Once the journey, you get through understanding who and what you are, then we learn to apply it into our lives. And like I said, I haven't spoke to anybody yet that has got a cold heart or selfishness. A lot of people I speak to won't even eat meat anymore because the love that they have for every living creature is so beyond comprehension. It's so beautiful. And it, you know, it's just an amazing time to be alive. You guys, that we're coming into that age of awareness, the out of Pisces and into Aquarius, or you can look at it from the Mayan countdown. You can look at it from the signs in the sky, you know, that the Bible talks about. You can look at it from the hieroglyphs, carvings. This time was waited upon for millennia. I mean, and we are the lucky ones that are here now, partaking in this amazing transformation that each and every one of us are going through. Beautiful. And I do want to say, guys, as per all interviews that I do, her channel is listed under My Divine Family on my homepage, Amber's Place. And like I said, she does meditations, she does horoscopes and readings, among many other things that's offered on that channel. So I want to make sure that you're able to find her. She's also listed in my show more notes below. So, if you're looking for her, that's where you'll find her. And each of these people that I'm bringing on are so unique, so interesting. Their testimonies are so beautiful, and it shows unity and diversity, and it breaks down any kind of borders and boundaries that we could think, or boxes that we put ourselves in. It's just a beautiful thing. Do you have any advice for people, Amber, about when they're feeling ascension symptoms, that what they may do to try to alleviate them when they're going through such things?
Yes, I mean, again, it's meditate. If you are feeling you're too connected to whatever you want to call it, spirit, source, higher self, and you are struggling to maintain connection to your everyday life, then you want to meditate and ground the Gaia's energy. So if you are feeling that you're being too buffeted, you're feeling low, you're feeling too tired and drained, then you want to meditate and consciously open yourself up to higher spiritual energy. So meditation, definitely. But the other option is not the other, it's with meditation. My advice would be to find a community, whether it's locally or online, of like-minded individuals, like the one that we share. Because for me, I found that simply talking every day or regularly with people who have gone through this process before me, and connecting to them, therefore energetically, has helped to entrain my energy to theirs. And it's been a vital support system, not only because if you're going through this on your own, you're going to be constantly thinking, am I going mad? But the fact that you therefore entrain your energy to theirs helps to buffer you from these waves of ascension frequency changes that are going on around. And there's nobody better to understand what you're going through. My advice would be to join our group. Obviously, because
yes, if the moderators could drop the link to the chat forum flame. We've got about 6 minutes left of this interview, and I want to make sure that access is to anybody and everybody who is joining us to come in and take part in that group. Sorry for interrupting you, Amber.
Okay. But find a group that works for you. Whatever is going to help you connect to other like-minded people. My only advice is try to avoid groups where there is a lot of anxiety and fear, because anxiety and fear is going to bring your frequency down a little to a denser energy. And what you ideally want to do is to get out of that anxiety and fear. You want to be able to get to a place where, not that you don't feel it, but that when you feel it, you therefore don't have to allow it to affect your energy and your behavior and how you treat others. So it's just about developing a higher state of awareness and control over yourself.
Okay, I dropped that in there for them because I don't know if anybody has the access to do that at this moment. As it is actually, pretty surprising that there's so many people that have, come to join us today, because it is a holiday, and, honor to the soldiers who have, fought and put their life out there for the betterment of mankind and for mankind's good, freeing slavery, or, going into these situations and, it actually costing them their lives. So this, this is what this day is about, is honoring those individuals that have done that on our behalf. So I did want to mention that too with gratitude in my heart. Um, and is there anything else you want to share about Amber's place that, about your channel and stuff? Well, I'll let you have your finishings up there, and then I'll zip it up. And I have put the link to the chat forum flame in the stream. So I hope you guys come and join us there, and all are welcome. We all sit there and we share what we know, and we listen so we can grow. So, okay, go ahead, Amber.
Not really. Just that I will be putting more content on there, and that place will be as I develop my various gifts, then they will be presented in various ways on that channel as time goes on. So I thank you all for your support, and appreciate if you decide to subscribe to me, and yeah, keep an eye on the channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you get notifications.
And for those of us who enjoy meditation and guided meditation, and you could just click on it and just at any time that you feel you're lifting off, or that you need to be grounded out in some way, then you can just click on it, play it. You may have a favorite meditation that she does, and this way, by it being out there, it's accessible to you at any time that you wish, to enjoy and partake in it. It's a beautiful thing to offer to people as a whole, and a nice place, to just stop by and click it and put it on your like list so you can find it easy. If you find one that really resonates with you, and where you can bring peace and calmness into yourself. And it is all about, guys, reconnecting, learning the language that is being spoke so that you can understand more clearly what's going on, opening up the sixth sense, the third eye, the pineal gland, whatever people call it, and then applying what you're learning into our daily lives. The testimonies that people are coming on here and sharing are just so amazing, so beautiful. I want to open it up. Anybody who has a testimony or a journey that they want to share, contact me. I would be more than happy to put you up here, interview you, let you tell your story on what's going on with you. It is so beautiful, so unique, and it's just, I love being an observer and listening to other people's testimonies, and I also am a participant myself, so I can, my mind is so open now, and just allowing other people to come through, and I can see it from their shoes, put myself in their shoes, and see it from their perspective. And it really is all about expanding our awareness, loving one another, and going through this hand in hand and being there for each other. Well, that's it for Michelle's opinions today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified of new postings, spontaneous live streams, and interviews that I do with so many different cultures, backgrounds, religions, all coming into this oneness, this awareness that's going on within each and every one of us. Yeah. Remember, guys, share what you know and listen so you can grow. Peace.
Bye.